Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to take a minute and talk about the new-ish T-Rex Arms TRAAP Rig. So their take on the surplus TRAAP Rig. Alright, TRAAP Rig, it's like what, 7 or 8 mags up front. Basically just a field of molly. You can put whatever you want on it. So T-Rex did kind of their version on it, and we'll kind of go through some of the things I like, some of the things I might not like, and we'll go from there, as well as some of the pouches and what I keep in it. So I took this, I've had it for about a month or so, went out and took it on an FTX. So I've actually worn this for 24 hours straight, and I have a little bit of experience with it. So definitely not the same amount of experience as someone who wears a TRAAP rig professionally, like the OG TRAAP rig, but I've got some experience with this, worn it for a little bit of a prolonged period of time. So these are just some of my thoughts. If you'll notice, the thing I'm holding up here is not the harness that comes with it. So this guy here is the harness you're going to get when you order the, I think they sell just the molly panel now, but when I bought it, all you could buy is the rig with the harness. So I've used their H harness on the 8 mag stacked, or whatever they call it. Quad flap, I think, is theirs. I did a video on that. This isn't a bad H harness. It's not bad. I just have an H harness I like a little bit better with the Cry Airlight one. So this really helps distribute the weight pretty well. It's very comfortable. On the back, you can see that these points here are kind of bungee, so it moves with you. It's not fighting you. Whereas with this is more traditional. So Cordura has no give. Again, it's not a bad H harness. If you get it, it's going to do just fine. I just had something already that I preferred. In the future, I'll do a kind of a comparison between the 8 mag stacked, or the quad flap, I think T-Rex calls it, and the TRAAP rig. But my main reason for picking this up over the quad flap chest rig is I need pouches up front. My role and the things that I do medically when I'm with the boys are different. So if you're a guy that doesn't need to carry specialty equipment, or doesn't need all these extra pouches, the quad flap chest rig is going to do just fine. Holds 8 mags right up front with, I think it's 3 rows of molly on either side. So that rig now lives with a buddy. It worked out for him, so he's got it. I'll see if I can borrow it back for an evening and do kind of a comparison. But I think this one is Cry, and then I kind of just cannibalized the rigs that I like to make one that is kind of ideal for me. And this backstrap here is the T-Rex Arms backstrap. So I like this a little bit more than I like the Cry one. So if you do want to do something similar to this, you're just going to have to change out the Fastex buckles. I think it was on the T-Rex. So this is standard. So yeah, this one here is a female, this one here is male, so I had to swap out the 2 females that came for 1 male up top, but not a big deal. If you don't have them, I recommend just keeping some spare Fastex buckles, some nylon just around. You never know what kind of projects you're going to be doing. This piece on the back here doesn't come with the chest rig. They have their own multicam field of Velcro that covers up the hook side, so it's just lube. This, honestly, I think I got off of Etsy, but I just wanted something. The FTX we were doing, it was set to be about 105, and forecast kind of changed a bit on that, so it was a bit cooler. It wasn't as bad, but I wanted something to help channel some of the air. So this, I want to say, was like 20 bucks. I couldn't tell you the name of the company I got it from, but if you're watching and it's your product, it worked out pretty well. So this was kind of cool. I liked it. I did feel like it helped some of the airflow a little bit. It was still pretty warm out when we went. So the rig itself, as it comes, let's see if I can do this without knocking everything over. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mag slots up front. It's just bungee retention. I think you can put like a Kiwi insert into them, but these are fine for me. I keep a fast mag up front, and then the rest have bungees on. This guy here is open. This is where I'll shove my radio. It'll fit, you know, whatever kind of radio you have. I'll say this about the rig. The quad flap definitely beats it with radio pockets. The quad flap had a kind of a civilian radio sized pocket that was padded on either side on the back of the rig. That was money. I wish they had put those on the back instead of these wings that they have, but neither here nor there. Fits in there, whether you're using like a 152 size radio or some kind of a Baofeng, it'll fit it just fine. So keep, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up front, fast mag there. This held fine when it was kind of contoured to my body, didn't pop out or anything. Going up some pretty steep hills, scrambling up, so that was fine. I'll keep a pair of shears back behind one of the mags. I just have to pop the bungee on it and I can get access to my shears. And then, see if you can see a little bit better. So here they have kind of their, I think they said that they were intended for tourniquets, but they work for mags. You can put radios back on these pockets here, but it's very thin. There's no padding, and that hard, whether you've got metal or plastic on the radios, it's going to be kind of digging into you. So I liked putting it up front. It worked out great. You can definitely shove some tourniquets in these. You can shove a couple extra mags. So overall, mag capacity I was happy with. As far as T-Rex products go, I think this one here is the only other one. And to be honest, I use this the most. Right, it's Canteen. Hopefully we're not using any of these. We're just drinking. So this is one of their Canteen pouches. So it'll hold an Nalgene. It'll hold like a USGI Canteen or one of these Nalgene ones. They'll hold the regular 32-ounce Nalgenes, the pine needles and everything that's still stuck in there. It'll also hold the, I think they're Australian. They're kind of square, say Plat Attack. I want to say Plat Attack bottles. But they did a good job with this pouch. So you can either run just Velcro, you can weave the buckle through and do Velcro and Fastex. But when we're out there kind of in the woods and for the rep trying to be quiet, and I do, that's really loud in the woods. Traps all sorts of stuff. But so I did away with the flap. It's got a little piece of Velcro on the inside. You tuck it down and it stays put. So it's a pretty, let's see if I can do that. It's a pretty good sized pocket. I've used it as just kind of like a modified dump pouch before. It worked great for that. On my chest, I like to use either USGI Canteens or like these Nalgene ones, because they kind of form to your body instead of having a big circle of an Nalgene. Holds the same amount of water. Worked out great. So I would do that, and then just a Fastex buckle, like so. Moving over, spud pouch from Spiritus. It's got a Garmin and Chemlite all wrapped up as a buzzsaw. So really like the spud pouches. You could throw whatever you want in there. In the past I've put smokes, bangs. It could fit 3 USGI kind of steel Stanag mags or 2 P-mags pretty comfortably. But they're just great. And then I really like the, I forget what they call it, but the laser cut portion, I think it's Squadron, the material, but I can pull it down over whatever item and it kind of forms to the item. So I've liked that. This guy here, Blue Force Gear, some kind of an admin pouch. I wanted something small to keep some of my kind of admin medical items. So I've got something for a 9-line. Dermabond. If you can get Dermabond or Vet Bond, it works great instead of having to dig out band-aids that keep falling off and stuff like that in the field. So Dermabond's great. A couple liquid IVs, some map markers, stuff like that. Fit in the front. And then some of my med stuff. Let's see if we can do this without losing everything. So syringe. So I've got a 5cc syringe. Back this up just to fall so you can see. So 5cc syringe, a needle bundle. So in this I'll carry like a 25 gauge 1.5 inch. I'll carry a 23 or a 21 1.5 inch, and then like a 27 1/2 inch. So that'll cover any kind of like IM drugs I'm going to give, or lidocaine if we're doing some kind of a laceration repair, if it calls for it, if it's clean enough. It just gives me the option. So TRAAP casualty card, some Kelly curved, million uses for Kelly curved, just a quick iodine swab. You could run alcohol prep pads. This is just what I had, I threw in there. Earpiece. So I think this is like a Code 4 Defense earpiece, which will plug into my Disco 32 PTT. So I really like the Disco. So it clips in there just fine. Then you don't have to wear a helmet, belt oars, or anything like that. We'll touch on this right now because it's in my hand. Disco 32 PTT is great. It's got a little hole for your down lead for peltors or amps, whatever you got, or you can do the side and put in an earpiece. So then you've got this big button here you can talk, or you can hit the side like a regular mic. The wind doesn't take that on me. In the admin pouch, also carry a pulse oximeter. So really easy, simple device. They're fairly cheap. Gives you a lot of real-time feedback, which is wonderful. And then a couple of flushes. So I just keep a couple of those broken down. Cool fact about flushes is that you can unscrew them and then drop them down. So this is clean, not sterile. But if I have to flush out an eye or a wound or something like that real quick, I can easily do that with a couple of flushes. I also attached a tourniquet down the bottom. It's got a couple of drain holes. So I just used some shot cord and what are these called? Shot cord retainers. Everyone knows these little things. But the thing where you can adjust the shot cord. The name is escaping me at the moment. So I like the Blue Force Gear one. It's just like a smaller version of a CCS pouch from Spiritus, so it worked out pretty well for that. Over on the side, I think this is just a tactical tailor pouch that I had laying around. It works for what I need it for. So when you're going out doing FTXs and training, stuff like that, think about, I've said it on the podcast before, don't shirk the weight. Don't be like, yeah, we're just going out and doing this thing, I'm going to pack some, a granola bar and 16 ounces of water. If you're going out and you're trying to replicate something you think you may be doing, actually carry the weight. Figure out what rubs, if your pack's working for you, if a chest rig's working for you. Figure these things out, throw in the weight, and kind of get deep into the LARPing, I guess. But on that, also realize that you may need something like an EpiPen. Right, where we were at, there were tons of hornets. So that is a real thing. As a part of your op board, part of your med planning if you're the medic, is what are some likely things we might be encountering, what's on the med packing list for everybody, your IFAKs, their boo-boo kits, but also real world. So I'll always put in closest treatment facilities. If it's an ER, what level of trauma center is that ER? If it's something real bad, are we going to potentially have to take somebody somewhere else? Urgent cares for things, maybe that's like a broken ankle or something that doesn't need an ER. Shocker. Broken ankles don't always need an ER. Like imaging capability, things like that. So, some of my guys do have problems with bites, stings in the past. So up front, on me, this stayed on me the whole time. If we ditch rucks to go do something, still able to keep this on me. So I have guys who have problems with that, so I will carry one EpiPen physically on me all the time, and more in my my med bag. So EpiPens, fun fact, they come in twin packs. The twin pack is not so that you can break it up and put one EpiPen like in a desk, one EpiPen in your daily backpack. It's because one dose of Epi might not be enough, and I've given a substantial amount of Epi before that far exceeded the 0.33 or 0.3 that's in these EpiPens. But this is enough to get it started. Where I'm at, wildfires were popping off pretty bad at the time, so I'll carry a albuterol inhaler as well. And then my med pouch. So this is a Pelican 1010, and then of course you got to get your stickers. So in there, drugs that focus on real world stuff, whatever you're planning for. So I'll keep like an extra combat pill pack up top. I'll keep some lidocaine, some non-narcotic pain medications, Zofran, Benadryl, Narcan, some corticosteroids, broad-spectrum antibiotic. Let's see what else we got in there. More adrenaline or epinephrine, so I can draw up out of here. And then I also carry TXA. So I'm fortunate enough to know people with NPI and DEA numbers. So might not apply to you, but if you're a medic and you do have access to TXA, consider it as part of your required packing. So that just lived right up front. All the guys know where it's at. I've trained the majority, at least, of my guys to at least be able to do something like a basic IM injection. So if it needs to be done on me, they can do it. I've got guys with other medical training, so confident in that. Over here is kind of a specialty pouch. I've got a buddy who is type 1 diabetic, so if you're the medic, that goes into your planning as well. When you guys are taking your long halts, your long pauses, whatever you want to call them, and you're going out and you're doing your med checks on people, you know, how are your socks, how much water have you drank, how much water you have left, are you peeing, you know, any bumps, bruises, scrapes, cuts, things like that. For him, part of it is looking at his sugars. I took it out because I only have a couple of them, but up here was also a glucometer with test strips, lancets, prep pads, stuff like that I would do to check his sugars if I needed to. Also in here was a thing of oral glucose. But because I have it, I've done it before, I know. So there is a thing of IV tubing, IV start kit. This is a bag of D10, so basically sugar water that I can infuse into them if needed. Prep pad, and then back here are some angiocaths that live in here. So everything I need to do to help treat any kind of tanking sugars or anything like that for him. So that is a real thing that you may be out there just trying to LARP, play with your gear, do some land nav, maybe some SUT, figure some stuff out. But if his sugars start tanking, you have to be able to treat your guy. So that's pretty much it for the front. Like we said earlier, there's a cry harness. So PTT over here is some pace beads. If you don't know your pace, you should figure your pace out. When you're doing a pace count, don't just do it like walking down the street. Do it in, you know, a street count. So know your street count. Light foliage, heavy foliage, snow. Where I'm at, we do snowshoes a lot, so I know my pace count with snowshoes as well. I have it written down on a Write in the Rain that I'll keep in my my left shoulder pocket on a field top if I ever forget what my pace count is. So highly recommend that. This is a part of SUT that unfortunately some guys don't carry. Then here's just a cloth for cleaning optics or nods, iPro, whatever. This is a cool Cabela's one, and I went to go buy more, and they don't make them anymore, so that sucked. on the back, let's kind of get rid of this. So on the back, instead of like the mesh openings like a TRAAP rig would have, it's got kind of a Velcro of a dump area. So I'll keep a extra right in the rain, an extra battery to a radio, so like some chapstick, caffeine pills, drip drop, extra pair of ear pro, batteries, repping the homies, and there's an 18650, but it has the micro USB to charge. So in my pack I've got a little portable solar battery bank, so you can charge off of it, but then you can also recharge the battery bank with the sun. Let's go this back in. With the batteries, I don't know where we got these, but we did like a group order of these things. So I put like some 100-mile-an-hour tape in there, because without it, but when you add it, it's a lot quieter. So little things like that you pick up from going out and playing in the woods and getting pine needles and stuff everywhere. So this piece is the other piece that comes with your TRAAP rig. It is a zipper piece. So I just wasn't a super big fan of it, no particular reason, but it goes like that, and you can zipper and unzipper it instead of using Velcro. If I remember correctly, I think the straps from the harness were kind of getting in the way of opening and closing it. So yeah, I just decided to take this piece out, and I don't really get into here a whole lot. It's pretty large. If you wanted to use it as a big map pocket, you could. I like keeping maps on my body, so they're usually in a cargo pocket, you know, compass, stuff like that, in like a nav or a cargo pocket. So I'll probably do a whole video on some of the crap that I brought, what I used, what I didn't use, some ideas, tips, tricks I picked up along the way. This is cool because it also has that Velcro field on the bottom. Your IFAK. So you'll see there's no IFAK on this rig. We do med fannies, so fanny packs. Fanny packs, I've always said, are like the 90% solution. They'll work in every scenario, but they're not the perfect solution for every scenario. So going up steep hills with a fanny pack slung around, because you know you got your pack and you can't really swing it around the back, that sucked. Like, make no joke about it. That is lame. I did not like that. So I may play with the idea of doing like a dangler, like Spirit's dangler or something, for kind of hilly terrain or the woods. Not opposed to it. I just really like the fact that the IFAK as a fanny pack is always on you. So even when we ditch rucks, you know, if you're taking this off, whatever you're doing, it's still on you. So I may just have to get over that. But overall, I've really liked this rig so far. It's expensive. It's expensive for what it is. It is not a TAPS rig. TAPS rigs are like $65. This, I want to say, was like, I don't know, $225, $230, something like that. And I saw a lot of people on the internet are just like, oh my god, that costs so much money. Like, this comes with everything you need to just run the rig. Like, it has all your mag slots, it comes with a harness, it comes with a back strap. The TRAAP Airlight Chest Rig, I forget the specific name of it, but that thing alone is like $250. And you have no way of really carrying mags with it. So people are all up in arms over T-Rex charging what they're charging for this. American manufacturing, American materials, yes, you're going to pay for that. If you like T-Rex and you want to support them, cool, go do it. If you don't like them, you don't like what they stand for, you know, whatever your problem is with them, then don't go support them and just get a TAPS rig. But I just wanted to get this out there, so for anyone looking at potentially a T-Rex TRAAP rig, You can kind of see what it looks like, not in their videos with their you know, panos and shit like that, what a regular guy has on it. So I've liked the layout quite a bit. I think I'm going to leave it as is, but you know, the nice thing about this is that, you know, it's all moly. So I can take all this off and I can put, you know, all Spiritus or Cry or Condor or whoever, like double mag pouches or spud pouches or whatever, and I can just load this thing with mags and bangs. Like if you're the kind of guy that's just, and a lot of these guys from GWAT, early GWAT especially, are like, the chest rig is for fighting and that is all that's on there. Great, you can do that with this. Let's see, so there's 1, 6, so you could probably fit 2 back here, so that's 6, 8, 10. So without adding any pouches at all, you can probably get about 10 mags on this thing. And then I want to say there's like 14 or 16 rows of moly, so that's what, like six bud pouches. Like you're looking like 20 plus mags if you really just, you know, want to load yourself down with all that. So it's versatile. If you change it out for something, you can do that. I've liked it. I haven't noticed any stitching popping. Everything is, you know, pretty good with it. So, all right, guys, hope you got something out of it, and something you're looking for, check it out. See you next time.